My husband is thinking about moving his disabled sister in with us. My husband and I, 24 years old female, had a conversation a couple days ago that has me thinking. His sister, 13 years old female, has Down syndrome. She is almost entirely nonverbal except for a few words here and there. She has a lot of trouble doing things for herself, such as making food, using the bathroom, etc. She is super sweet, and our family loves her dearly. Currently, his parents are taking care of her, but they made a comment that someone will have to watch her whenever they pass. I obviously don't think they will pass anytime soon, but this is an important conversation to have a solid plan on in case something does happen. Right now it seems like my husband and I are going to be the ones who take care of her due to his siblings not being reliable, some even saying they don't want to. My husband and I have thrown around ideas such as assisted living, or her living with us. However, both have brought up big cons. He's worried she will be lonely in assisted living, and we also are aware of how expensive it can be, which is an expense I don't know we will be able to afford always. As for her living with us, he thinks this would be a better option, but I'm not that certain. I'm worried about a lot of different things. What if we can't work from home, and she has to be alone all day? What if she wanders out of the house? What if she hurts herself and can't call 911? What if she can't use the toilet? What if she can't feed herself? I also have been thinking about the fact we want to have a family. We currently want around 3 kids. We will always have to make sure there is 1 extra bedroom, 1 extra plate, etc. from our original plan. What if our kids have soccer practice, and we can't be home until 9 p.m., and she's there by herself all day? We also have a dog that she doesn't get along with since the dog gets excited, and it scares her. That's if our sweet girl is still around whenever this all happens. We plan on traveling often, which would mean we would either have to cater our plans towards bringing an extra adult, or somehow figure out how someone can take care of her while we are away. We love outdoor activities and plan on taking our kids, when they are old enough, camping and hiking and biking, all of which she would have difficulty. I'm also worried about any problems this may create between my husband and I if she were to move in, just simply having another person in the house. I love my sister-in-law to death, but I don't know that her living with us permanently would be a good idea. I feel kind of like a point of sale thinking about all of this because I really love her, and I don't want to think of any of these negative thoughts. But I just can't kick them from my brain. My husband has listened to all these thoughts and is also contemplating them, but he is much more on board than me with her living with us. I'm not sure what to do, or even what to say. I don't want anything I say to offend him, but I don't know that this would be the best idea. Any advice welcome. This situation sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. He's planning on you doing the work while he may not fully grasp the extent of what that entails. It's important to ask him the tough questions about how he plans to handle his sister's medical needs, from her period to perimenopause and menopause. Assisted living may be a better option in the long run, as there are too many unknowns and uncontrollables if she were to live with you. Make it crystal clear that you are not responsible for the physical care, as it's ultimately the parent's responsibility to set her up with care and cover the financials. This husband-wife dynamic of passing off the care work to the wife is unfortunately all too common in these situations. Aitaa for telling my dad he needs to get his life together, or my girlfriend, and I won't let him live with us when he can't work. I, 27 male, moved to a different state to go to undergraduate school. Got a job in that state, and now go to graduate school and work in my new state. About a year and a half ago, my dad, 62 male, told me he was coming down to visit. At the time, I was renting a home with 2 other roommates, and they were cool with my dad coming down to visit. The first month was fine. I gave my dad my room and either slept on the couch or stayed with my girlfriend. My dad hasn't had the easiest life, and I wanted to help him. This was the man who raised and invested so much of his life so I could be successful. My dad showed no interest in getting a job. He drank every night and hung out with my roommates. After a few months, my roommates, rightfully so, sat me down and asked me how much longer he was going to stay. It was a hard conversation. It strained my friendship with them. I finally had a talk with my dad. It turned out he was completely broke and needed money. I convinced him he needed to find a job and that we need to get him his own place. I applied for jobs online with him, got him an interview, loaned him my suit, and he got the job. My girlfriend and I flew up to our original state, sold a lot of his stuff and drove the rest down in a U-Haul. We used it to move him into his own apartment. I gave him all the money from everything I sold and asked him to start saving. I moved in with my girlfriend, and we are saving for our future. After a year of him working, he keeps buying new appliances for his home. He always wants to go out to fancy dinners with us, and he buys very expensive whiskey and drinks every day still. I asked him how much money he has saved in the last year since he has started working. I also pay a portion of his rent, all his utilities and phone bill. It turns out that he has less than all the money I gave him when he started working. I asked him what his 5-year plan is, and he told me he wants to move in with us when we buy a house, and requested that we buy a home with a separate guest house where he can stay. I told him that will not work because of his excess drinking and lack of ability to save. I told him that he is ignorant to not save anything after everything that he has been through, and that I would not trust him around my future kids if he continues to drink. I told him I won't spend time with him anymore if he continues this lifestyle, He says I am judging him and being a bad son for not supporting him in the future. Am I being too hard on him and not letting him enjoy his habits? His 5-year plan of you supporting him while he drinks himself to death is not acceptable. You need to quit enabling his behavior and ask him to get help. If he refuses, give him a month to handle things on his own and withdraw your monetary support. Don't let him guilt trip you into continuing to support him. Instead, help him get into rehab without providing him with money. Focus on building your own life, and don't set yourself on fire to keep him warm. Good luck with the situation. Am I the antagonist for not inviting mom to graduation after she apologized to me? My mother and I have had a troubled relationship since one of her sisters outed me as gay when I was 16 years old. When my mother found out, she did, and said some very traumatic things. I am not stating the following things because I am trying to be resentful. The following are things that are my personal reasonings and why I don't feel comfortable just inviting her to graduation. Prior to my mother finding out I was gay, we were really close, and even though she had her flaws, I seen her as the perfect mother in my eyes. So I know that how she reacted to me when she found out I was gay was a learned behavior to her own trauma. She is a preacher's kid, and her father, the preacher, treated her similarly to how she treated me when he found out she was pregnant with me, as she wasn't married, and my father was Muslim. I tried to keep a relationship with her even after my traumatic experience with her, but after 4 years, I finally broke contact with her because I couldn't take the ups and downs in our relationship. Sometimes she being nice to me, other times randomly telling me how wrong it is to be gay and that I am committing an abomination to God. Then when she was nice to my face, I would later hear about her saying homophobic comments behind my back to my little sister. I invited her to my graduation for my bachelor's degree, even though we weren't on the best terms the day before and morning of my graduation. She argued with me until I cried and brought individuals with her that I explicitly asked her not to bring, but she came to graduation as if nothing ever happened with the biggest smile on her face, showing support. After another argument, I moved to another state for my master's degree. We went almost a full year not speaking. A few weeks back in February, I told my therapist 2 weeks ago, I felt I do not want to invite her to my graduation. Then fast forward to last week. She popped up on me in the state I live in and told me she apologizes, wants to repair our relationship, still doesn't agree with my sexuality due to her religion, but she still wants a relationship with me and wants the best for me. We spoke about a lot of things I told her that hurt me. She apologized and told me she would do better moving forward. I told her I appreciate that, and it will take me some time as we have to get to know each other, and I have to rebuild my trust in her because she has apologized to me before then. We end up back at square one when she doesn't agree with my choices. I ended off by telling her I was not inviting her physically to my graduation, but I will send her a virtual link. She became visibly upset and told me that's a slap in the face after everything she sacrificed for me, and asked me if I was doing this to punish her. After I explained to her why and how I felt, she stated, "Okay, I won't come, and I won't tell anyone in the family you didn't invite me." Now I feel like I am the asshole even though I am just trying to respect my boundaries. Forgiveness is not a lack of consequences. Your mother's behavior towards you has been hurtful and damaging, and it's completely understandable that you don't want her at your graduation. Hold firm to your boundaries and only invite those who will make it a happy and positive memory for you. Your mother needs to understand the depth of her actions and work to earn back your trust and acceptance over time. You deserve a sincere apology, not manipulation. Am I the antagonist for not panicking when my sister wasn't answering the phone in the gym locker room? I am 17, and my sister, who I'll call Laura, female 17, went to my gym 2 weeks ago as my sister was having a bad day, story for another time, and asked to go to the gym with me. I didn't want to, as I like to go by myself and don't even have a gym partner, as socializing when I am working out is not for me. So, my sister came to the gym with me and went on the treadmill. As she was walking away, she said to me that she will probably finish before me, as my workouts are typically 45 minutes to 90 minutes, and go into the sauna. I said, okay, but be ready to leave for when I finish. Then we went our separate ways. Later, an hour into my workout, my mother texted me telling me to come home now, and that I shouldn't keep Laura there too long as she has had a long day. I replied saying that I would finish up, asking my mother to text her. She said she did. I went into the locker room and then into the car, which was right in front of the well-lit entrance. Now this building only has exits on one side of the building, with one side being connected to another building, and all windows and possible exit points on 2 sides, which from where I was able to see fully. After a few minutes, I got tired of waiting for Laura to come out, so I called her cell phone, but it went straight to voicemail. She had blocked me. I do not know why. She had texted me asking me to go to the gym 2 hours before. I then texted my mother that she wasn't answering my calls and that I didn't know where in the gym she was, but it was most likely the locker room, and that she should call her since her phone number has emergency override and will make the phone ring no matter what. My mother then called me on the phone and was full on screaming at me. I could not understand her and, like I do most of the time, just let her tire herself out. She told me to go to the front desk to get an attendant to go get her, which I did, but in the process of getting out of my car, my phone connected to the Bluetooth CarPlay and played a noise, which my phone picked up. This caused my mother to think an alarm was going off at the gym and started yelling at me again, only this time it was a lot louder. As I was walking in, Laura came out and was very quiet. I then yelled at her because she had decided to disappear for 10 minutes and went no contact with me or anyone else. She didn't say anything the whole car ride home. When I got home, my parents were waiting for me. They proceeded to scream at me for tons of different things, some of which were how I didn't protect my sister at school, I wasn't there, and how I wasn't keeping an eye out for my sister at the gym, and how she could have been kidnapped or worse. They said that I was not panicking, and this is due to the fact that I am a gamer. They then limited my device usage severely, and I'm not allowed to use anything without their permission. I feel that I am not in the wrong, as I was able to maintain calmness until my sister was safe. It sounds like there may be some deeper issues going on in your household that need to be addressed. It's not fair for you to have to constantly take care of your sister and deal with your parents yelling. Make sure to prioritize your own mental well-being and set boundaries with your family members. Am I the antagonist for threatening to leave my mother alone after she compared me to my father? Throwaway account because I don't want this on my main. My 29-year-old woman father was a narcissist. He made my and my mother's life hell until he died a little over a year ago. My mother is having major mental issues from the years she spent with him and is in therapy. We are also alone because my father made sure to isolate both of us. An issue we have is my mother keeps comparing me to him if I do anything she says he used to. I complain about something she did wrong. Oh, I guess I can't do anything right. You think I'm stupid like your father. You think like he did, don't you? I mentioned doing something to save money since she can't work right now, and I'm having to support us both. You must think I'm useless like he did. You're just like him. We even got into it because I saved up to buy myself a new phone. My old one was 6 years old and barely worked. I told her I can do whatever I want with my money, and she told me I'm his spitting image, and I'm even holding money over her like he did now. I understand she's sick right now and she needs help, so I've always just told her to talk to her therapist about these situations and try not to take it personally. The issue that makes me think I'm an asshole happened yesterday. It was raining heavily where we live, and Mom was supposed to pick me up from work. She never showed up and I don't have anyone else. So after I couldn't get in contact with her for over an hour, I just walked home in the rain. Needless to say, I was pissed when I got home. She of course noticed me and took a minute before remembering she was supposed to get me and apologized. Her phone died and she was making dinner and forgot. I told her I was upset and didn't want to talk right now. She again told me I was like my father and was giving her the silent treatment like he would. I snapped and told her she isn't the victim right now, and that if she compared me to that man again, I'd leave her here alone. That she'd have to fend for herself because I'd have nothing to do with her anymore. She cried and has been a perfect mother since. I feel horrible now and I'm considering apologizing even though I feel it'll lead us back to how things were. So am I the asshole for threatening to leave my mom completely alone after she kept comparing me to my father? Not the antagonist. Are you in therapy? Have you thought about going to therapy together? Because your situation doesn't sound healthy in how she talks, treats you. And with you two being isolated, there might also be some unhealthy codependency going on. Your mom's behavior is very abusive and narcissistic, and it's important for you to get out and away from her. She may be ill, but she's wallowing in it. You need to establish boundaries and seek help to address these issues in a healthy way for both of you. Am I the antagonist for kicking my brother out of my birthday party, but allowing his girlfriend to stay? I, 15 years old, have always had a tight bond with my older brother, 24 years old. He raised me, as we were both in the same foster system before adoption. Anyways, my brother has been dating his now fiancée, 22 years old, for 3 years now. My whole family loves her and she is the perfect person for him. So a couple days ago was my quinceañera, my sweet 15. Everything had been planned for about a year. The dress, the gigantic venue, my mom decided to invite so many more people that I really wanted, the cake, everything. It was my special day, and I was truly excited. Then my brother comes along. Halfway through my party, out of basically nowhere, he made the DJ play his girlfriend's favorite slow song and popped the question to her right there and then. Everyone was in shock, especially his girlfriend. She said yes, but I saw her run off to the bathrooms immediately after, not looking the happiest. I knew for a fact that she had stated to him multiple times that she wanted him to propose to her on their own time, since she's generally really anxious around large groups of people, and all that attention being on her was upsetting. I went up to him after, upset about why he decided to propose to her at my birthday, when for once, the day was about me, not him. He replied that it was too much work to get the family all together himself, so he thought this was a good time. I reminded him that he and his girlfriend had a pre-planned trip to Mexico in 2 weeks, and asked him why he couldn't just do it then on their own time. He replied that our aunt had made him feel bad for not considering proposing in front of family just because his girlfriend preferred to have that intimacy in private. So he took her word, did not tell me or my mom, and decided to just do this. If he had told me in advance, I probably would have been okay with it. I was kind of used to sharing the spotlight with him anyways. and that he knew this would put all of the attention on him on my special day. And he had previously stated to me that he did not want me playing a role in his wedding, as I was too old for a flower girl and too young for a bridesmaid. So, if he didn't want me to play a part in his wedding, why did he now play a part at my birthday? I got upset and went to the bathrooms to check on his fiancée. She was crying when I got there, and we talked out our anger and anxiety for a while. She wanted something private. I wanted to finally have my own celebration. He hurt both of us, so the two of us my mom kicked him out, and he looked extremely hurt and cried and started apologizing. We still kicked him out, and he was offended that his fiancée could stay but he couldn't. I never wanted to be the reason he cried, so I cried after, feeling upset and stuck between feelings. So, I wanted to know opinions on how this was handled, and am I the antagonist? Not the antagonist. He took advice from an aunt against his girlfriend's wishes, stole your spotlight on your birthday, and got upset about it? Clueless, narcissistic behavior. I hope he apologizes to both of you for his dim-wittedness. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.